Welcome to another episode of Gamer
Okay.
Talk. What?
Alright, do that again because I just started saying something.
You suck. Welcome to another episode of Gamer Talk. I'm Logan, and joining me is Freddie and Chris.
Yay!
Hi.
Yay! So,
Yes, it's working, by the way.
nice. I had one of my proud moments of this campaign in this last session, where I think I actually caused Pete and Giannis sanity loss because they put together stuff and Pete held up notes from like January of this year, and he was like, "This is this thing," and I was like, and Giannis was like, "So wait, that means it's all," and she started going, "It's all connected," and Pete was like, "Oh yeah, it is," and she's like, "Ah." And I was like, sandy loss, nice. That'll be fun. So, but unfortunately, you can only
Well,
get
if,
that
if
kind of
either
shit.
of them posted, if either of them posted on the boards, I'd be curious to see what they say.
Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, that is one weird thing, is that, hold on a second, my voice comes through for shit. I'm going to try something here. I'm going to turn you guys both down to half and just crank my volume. Because everybody else's voice comes through much richer than mine. Mine sounds kind of washed out in the background, as opposed to everybody else's. I don't know why.
How do you know?
Because when I'm listening to the broadcast, when I'm cutting it up, I
Oh.
have to chop it into pieces.
Oh, you might need to. Yeah, okay. That's more, I think, to do with OBS settings and stuff.
Really? I'm cranked up all the way. I'm cranked up all the way on my mic.
Hold on, let me see what you sound like on YouTube. Okay. I'm gonna
Mute yourself, yes. I am Logan. I am now on YouTube, and Freddie is listening to me. This is
Oh yeah, you are a lot quieter.
Yeah, see what I mean? But the mic is literally maxed out, and I'm sometimes even redlining.
Oh, I think I know. No, it's not that.
Device. Oh wait, hold on. Does this sound any better? I am now talking on YouTube so that Freddie can hear me because it had me on default instead of the device I normally use.
No, there's no difference.
God damn it. I don't know. I need a fucking mic eventually. When I get back into an area I can actually get mail.
I mean, honestly, we all kind of sound. We all kind of sound the same.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you just telling me that to get me to stop worrying about it?
No, I mean, I can hear you fine.
Uh-huh.
On both.
Yeah, huh? So, what's up in Freddy's world? I'll ask for Chris the same thing as far as interesting shit or gaming shit or whatever you want to talk about, because we have no script and stuff. And, oh shit, Freddie, since you're looking at YouTube, your job would be to tell us if anybody has a question or something on there, yeah? Can you see YouTube also? Because I'm busy.
Yes, boss.
Thank you. Oh, I'm busy cutting up all the other crap from earlier.
John says he wants to game tomorrow, but the wife wants to decorate for Christmas.
Yeah.
He was going to be decorating tomorrow.
Yeah, he is. he was catching some friggin' wife aggro earlier, so and he got photobombed by all of his kids. They just would go by in the background like, and I was like, okay, that's fine. They'll be broadcasting like a year or whatever. I don't care.
But yeah, no, nothing weird's going on. Yeah, John's in the chat, but that's it. Yeah, no, I'm just trying to persuade Ralph to host more games during December, damn it, and yeah.
I was trying to persuade Chris to do it, and he's still in the marinating stage as opposed to cranking out a friggin' mod like a beast.
Chris, have you DM'd people?
Well, Chris has DM'd a lot because he's in denial right now because he is attempting to not DM as much because the thing is that Chris has been used as an entertainment center by his friends for decades, and he's sick of it.
Fucking Logan used to call me the Chris Entertainment System. So
It's true, he is.
at one point it was to the point where people would argue about whose house I was spending the weekend at.
Yes.
Fucking ridiculous. And then they would tempt me with tacos, and then we knew where I'd be.
Chris Tacos.
So that's where that name came. Oh, okay. What are you doing?
I'm
Calm
bigger
down,
now.
Logan.
Soon
Calm
I
down,
shall take over the world.
Well, what had
That's
happened
a
is
little
I wasn't
too-
working. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go on.
So I wasn't working. I didn't have any money. So I was like, they'd be like, hey, so do you want to come over for the weekend? I'm like, I can. I won't be able to eat. And they'll be like, oh, we got you. And at the time is when Burger King had just come out with their 50-cent tacos. So they would just buy me a shitload of tacos, and they'd be like, there's your tacos. And I would eat tacos, and I'd bring my computer by, and we'd land shit all weekend.
So, right, now it makes sense where that name comes from.
Chris, tell him one of the stories from the old days of gaming. What's a story that stuck with you for the last 15 years or whatever?
Stuck with me. There's been a lot of stories, like the shit stories and the Chong stories and the
Go for
the
one of
random.
them. Go for one of them that involves out of game stuff and one of them that involves in game stuff.
So, well, this is kind of amusing. Like, this is the first, like, a lot of people that actually continue to play the game. We've not, as far as in the past, we would get people that would come through, have a one-off, and never come back.
Or
We had
a 4 off or something, and he froze. He froze. Are you frozen, Freddy? Holy shit! Everybody's frozen. Maybe I am frozen.
No,
Now you froze.
now you froze.
There you go.
And you're dead. Cool. Up in the back. Hello.
Dun, dun, dun. So,
It's bugging me seeing my head this big. Go ahead.
so I remember we were playing a Highlander campaign, and so we were all immortal. And we had this one guy that would show up, and like he wasn't bad. He was a decent player, like not awful or anything, and he would play. And he actually contributed, but he was new. So you know how it is when you're new to a group, you just kind of, you're a little bit more reserved. Well, he would leave, like, he'd be like, well, you guys have to put me somewhere safe. So we would. And we would put him somewhere safe, which ended up being an island that we knew about. We'd
They had to sail his ass to the island on like a
we'd get on a
ship.
Yep. And drop him off and then leave. And then, so time would pass, we'd be playing, and he wouldn't show up for a couple weeks. And then he'd show up again, and he'd be like, so what have you guys been up to? Like, we passed 10 years. He'd be like, are you serious? We're like, yeah. So we'd make a new character. And at the end of the session, he'd be like, all right, you guys got to put me somewhere safe. We dropped them off at the island where his other character was like, hey, drop him off. So then again, he would not play for a couple weeks, because we played from Friday, sometimes Thursday night to Sunday night, until we would drop.
Or everybody calling sick on Monday.
That would happen sometimes too.
Yeah.
And we would just go. We were ridiculous.
It was
So
like it was like 18-hour days or some shit.
we were relentless.
Yes.
Especially when me and Ralph would be like, Ralph would take a nap, and then I'd be, I'd have the brain ball, and I'd be going, and I'd be like, huh, and then Ralph would be like, and I go, and I would go lay down, and Ralph would be like, so here's what we're gonna do, and Logan would be like,
I didn't get a fucking nap. That's why.
We would start fucking with him in shifts, and so Logan, he's like, and it would be like 4 or 5 in the morning, probably be like, I need to sleep. nothing before 12. And then he'd be like, don't play on my computer. We'd like wait 5 minutes. We'd both hop on his computer, start playing Civilization.
I have no idea how they always knew my fucking password or whatever. And they just jump on it. Because I'd always lock it. And they were like, yep, we unlocked this computer again.
We were bad people.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was one thing. But so anyway, back to the original story. And this would happen over and over again, and then finally just wouldn't show up. Or then we had one guy that was really excited, and he was like, whoa, you guys are real intense. And then we're sitting there, and it was like really, really hot, and Logan had one of those halogen bulbs. And he's sitting there, and he's like, wow, and I was the nice guy out of the group, so I was always in charge of helping the people, get acclimated to the group. And he's like, oh, it's like there was so much shit going on. He's like, oh my god, oh, and it was like Cthulhu, and it was kind of there was a scary situation. And suddenly, because Logan had a piece of glass over the top of this lamp, it was like one of those halogen tall lamps.
The big bowl things.
And it just, and the glass just shattered all over. He had hot glass down the back of his neck.
Ow.
He's like, oh my god. Everyone just was like, And then someone's like, welcome to the Swamp House. And then we just continued gaming. And he's like,
nobody
real life
even
stands off.
reacted. We were
I
so
think
evil.
a couple of us looked at him like, we'll see if he leaves now.
Oh
Yeah.
man, that was a rough group to get in on because none of us had really hit our mellowing out phase yet, where we became nicer and we're like, if we had more people, this would be better. We're like, can you survive the fires? Can you live through the hazing? And the answer is usually no. Corey did. Oh, I got a story about Corey. Okay.
That was rough.
Mm-hmm.
I put him through the ringer on that shit.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what happened was, Corey, you've played with Corey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah? So Corey was the new guy. He was completely new. I don't know if he was new to gaming, but he's definitely new to our group. And we're doing some sort of cyberpunk adventure, and there was some lady who the PCs had gotten back from some people who kidnapped her and all this, and so he's starting a romantic subplot with her and stuff, and he's really getting into it, and he's doing a great job of role playing and all that. And she's like, oh man, I can't believe you're really putting yourself out for me and stuff, and they're getting closer and could go places. And then at one point, finally at the climax, they had the Yakuza on one side and some other group on their side and some other group, and all of them were like, give us the girl, and they're all getting ready to fight over her as well. And the PCs were like, take her. And they just drug Corey away. He's like, no! And something inside of him died at that point. You could just see it's like watching a little twig snap. I mean, he kept playing, but he was more dead inside after that. And I remember the rest of the group regarded that as a win.
Yeah.
It didn't break him as bad as the Druid thing, though. Druid thing about fucking demolished him.
I'm surprised it didn't come to real life death. Like Logan was close to having someone snap for real. Although that happened to me once, but I was highly intoxicated. My friends were assholes and dropped me off at your house. Fucking idiots. Fucking trashed. Oh, Chris, do you want to go role play? Fuck yeah. Morons.
So, I don't know. Do you have a good gaming story, Freddie?
Me? Nah. Nothing as crazy as yours. Most of mine are just in-game. But I would say the craziest, quote unquote, is that our DM had a homebrew campaign all set up, ready to go. Everything was, here's your quest, go do this thing, and Session 1, we derailed the entire campaign, turned it into an evil campaign, and the DM had to rewrite everything. because of one thing that we did. That was probably the craziest thing we did. It was so fun, but
Well, that's always good.
Nah.
Well, not that you had to rewrite it, but that you guys had fun and it still continued.
Yeah.
I mean, not so much rewrite, just reshape, if you know what I mean. The stuff was still there, but
I feel you. But it's not like you were duoing with someone else, walked in as you were getting the briefing, gave the nod to the person that you were with, and just capped the guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've had people kill the fucking plot hook. It's like I am here to.
Technically, that kind of happened-ish.
Yeah, but they were right.
So there was we had this town captain dude who was like about to give us our quest and say it was something to do with like there's some wolf problem or whatever. Go deal with it. Something I can't remember. And one of our players, a very eccentric, noble person, didn't like the way the captain was speaking to him, and he threw a bar of soap into his mouth, and it just escalated from there. And we were basically kicked out of the town and sent on our way. Okay. That's how it started. A bar of soap.
I guess the captain needed to clean up his act.
Oh, jeez. You're fired. So what has happened is me and Ralph were duoing, and like no one else, like it was like, and we knew it was a big Cthulhu mod, like one of those thick books that Logan had been prepping all week. So like we sit, we get everything ready, we sit down, we're getting into it. Ralph was playing Suede, I was playing Cherry. We're walking in, and this was like when we were like just becoming like blips on the amber radar. I remember that too. And then I remember we're sitting there, and Logan's like, all right, you go into this office, and he's describing everything. And, he's like, I need you to go find this for me. And me and Ralph just legit went. We draw on him and kill him. And Logan was like, what the fuck is going? Like Logan was completely shocked by this. Like he didn't see it coming, nothing. And all it was a look and a nod, and we both at the same time. And Logan was like, are you fucking kidding me? And we went right to dramatic combat, killed the guy, and we're like, yeah, he was clearly the main bad guy. So now what do we do? And Logan was so mad. I think we ended up drinking for the rest of the night because you didn't want to run. You're like, no, fuck you guys. I prepped this all fucking week. Fuck you guys. And then after that is when you came up, when it went from a pause reward for like, because every time we would have an adventure, and we would solve it, we'd get pause and get to re-roll all our shit, basically. So me and Ralph are running through shit like 5 adventures a night. Let's do this shit. Me and Ralph, like we were railing that shit. So after that, Logan's like, no. So your pause award depends on how much of the investigation and how much you do. Not your leaps of logic. We're like, oh. So then we made sure to like, so we felt, we played the nice after that. Cause I mean, I get it. Back then it was like, funny and fuck you Logan, but I mean, that's a lot of prep. That is a lot of prep, and I get it. So after that though, we definitely were like, all right, well, let's go check and see what that red herring is, just in case. Basically, we're like, let's go get that other pause if we go talk to these other NPCs. Oh, sounds good. Excellent.
Well, I still remember in Cthulhu Mod Dunwich. See, there's a lot of shit I haven't run Freddy on, but with the running schedule and stuff as it is, big mods are not really practical. Seriously, you can get if you get the right 2,000 word mod, that's more than enough to cover a 5-hour session, right? As opposed to the book is this thick or whatever bullshit, because that's the kind of stuff you can do if you've got the same X number of guys or gals, gathering once or twice a week or fucking a huge block of time or whatever. But Chris was doing a mod in a town called Dunwich where he was literally visiting every house, talking to every person. Because I had a huge map and it had all the houses numbered, and he was like, "Okay, I go to 416. All right, here's what the description is." And it was a long fucking. I don't even remember how long that was to slog through that.
I think that was like a 2 or 3 week mod, and that's when I had Porter in the sidecar of my motorcycle, and I was playing the dock.
Yeah. So I don't know. There's I don't know, Chris. Based on what you're seeing, because versus having the same group of people and doing call it more standard gaming, although at the pace we did it at, considering that everybody was like working and stuff like that, as opposed to high school where you've got loads of time and stuff. That kind of group versus the kind of group we've got now, pros and cons.
Well, the pros is that when you have that core group, you always have like the core group running it all the time, like, and usually for months. Like there'd be a 6-month stretch where like it would be all the core group and we'd be running, and then like maybe I'd drop off for 3, or Ralph would drop off for 3 to 6, and like, but we'd recycle back at some point, and then everybody else would play as much as they could, but and then like for a while like Jeff was a core, and then and that was like the main 3, and then TJ was for a while too, but he also had the weird night job, so that kind of fucked him on the weekends because he was flinging papers.
Yeah.
And then Nero interrupted as well for a while there too.
Yeah, that was a big interruption. I still remember being mad at Corey for introducing everybody to it, because I could tell right away this is gonna fuck our gaming skill, and it did. But eventually, then I got into Nero. But and I think anybody who's a GM who hasn't done a LARP, as far as like armors and wearing armor and what a pain in the ass shields are to carry around and stuff, doesn't know shit about those things until they've actually done a LARP. Because Chris carried a shield. How much of a pain in the ass is carrying a shield, really?
It's a fucking pain in the ass. And if you don't have a sheath, sort of walking around with a sword and shield constantly sucks dick. And even if you do have a sheath, like just sitting down, you're like, oh motherfucker, oh shit, fucking. So I mean, I understand it. Like I LARPed for on and off for 20 years, so fucking yeah. And when we LARPed, like it was, because like most people that LARP, they go and they like a couple hours at a random park. You know, like Nero is completely different. Nero game on Friday night at like 11 o'clock, game off Sunday morning at like, depending on where you're at, 6 to 10 in the morning sometimes. And you can get attacked at any point during that time. Like things are happening the entire weekend.
Yeah, fuck your full night of sleep. Yeah.
Oh yeah, many times where like shit's rifting into your cabin in the middle of the night. You know, like teleporting into your cabin to come kick your ass.
Oh, tell them about when you and Jay went out and had a cabin to yourselves that was way up on some hill or something like that.
So
this is like their first night, I think.
My first night ever at Nero event, and like everybody else decided to NPC, and me and Jay were like, "We got this." Everybody else, I went to NPC, and we're like, "We're gonna PC. Like, fuck this. We're gonna do this shit." So no one wanted us in their cabin. Like all the other players, they're like, "We don't know you. Go away." All right. So we had a cabin at the top of this large hill. Like they called it Cardiac Hill. So you go up Cardiac Hill, and then you go up like a mini version of that to get even higher. So we're the highest cabin in the whole place. And it's a 30-person cabin. 2 people are in it, me and Jay. And so like we don't know what to expect. Like we're both level 1. Like I have a sword and a spell. And I think Jay was actually a Templar. No, I think he was a scholar.
Was he?
So I think he had like 2 spells and like a small weapon or some shit. I might be wrong on that, but that sounds right. And fucking, we were like legit scared, like we're gonna get rolled our first night. Like we like took all the benches inside and like we like spaced them out so like they would have to like go over the benches or through the beds to get to us, and we were at the very back of the cabin. Like we put like leaves in like the front quarter of the damn cabin, and I remember we slept with an open window next to the window looking out, and we thought we saw someone out there moving about. So like we were on watch, and we were freezing our ass off because it was like it was in the fall, and we didn't come quite prepared yet. It was our first event. We thought we knew like what was up, and no. So I remember we fell asleep late into the night, staring at what we thought was like someone getting ready to roll us. We wake up, it's a fucking tree stump. Fucking tree stump kept us up all fucking night. The funny part is, though, we did find out that we did have monsters knocking at the door, and they like went to the door and they like tried to get in, but like Nero locked it, so they couldn't get in. So we were fine because they were just low levels anyway. But yeah, like, and we had no idea about that. We had no idea that someone else visited it because we were staring at this goddamn stump all night. It's fucking crazy. But at least the people in the town, they came and checked on us that next morning. They're like, hey, we're gonna go get breakfast. Do you want to come? We're like, okay.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I mean, Nero was fucking awesome. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Just walking around with a shield all the time sucks dick.
Well, and armor. What kind of armor do you have? Well,
I only wore armor a couple times. I was a scholar, so I said, fuck it. Not worth it.
Yeah. Chainmail is like big heavy metal snake that always tries to escape the table. You have found.
I mean, I got to wear it a couple times when I was a warrior. I played a warrior for a little bit there, and it to me it wasn't a big deal. Like I'm a big guy, so putting some a little bit heavier, and I don't run anyway, so I'm just kind of like stalking everybody like Jason. That's all I do. Not Jason in the game, but like Jason.
Right, yeah.
Friday the 13th.
Like now.
So I mean, they're like, "Do you want to run?"
Got it.
No.
Well, discard 2 cards
First, we
while
gotta
you're
run.
still alive.
No.
Yeah.
I'll head up the rear. See you
Sure.
guys in a little bit. But no.
Well, now you've gotten to play several times with Jason. Something you don't know about him, Freddie, is in real life, at least at this time. I mean, everybody's getting older and stuff, but at the time he was doing LARPs and shit, he is legit one of the sneakiest motherfuckers I know.
Oh, yeah, I remember that story you told me.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I have no idea
Yeah,
how.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, he just be there 1 minute and the next one.
Mm-hmm.
I remember we were running, so I was like trudging quickly through the forest, and Jay was next to me, and he was running, like he was like, go, 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 and he was like going. So he's running, and we're coming in through the trees, and there was a tree at like a 45-degree angle that had fallen over. And I remember I'm like running past it, and he just goes, "Brrr," and then sits down and watches and waits.
Fucking Legolas.
Like, motherfucker. And I'm just like,
Although I think the funniest thing I remember was when Chris and I were sent to go deal with some bad guys or something. We were supposed to sneak up and then blow them up, but it was up a hill, and the monsters could hear us fucking wheezing our way up, and we took rest breaks. We're like, and then we hear us approach more, and they're like, maybe now, yeah, stop, okay, let's stop, and they just hear this fucking wheezing and shit, and then they'd hear me lighting up and smoking and shit, and can't get any air, need a cigarette to get air. Right.
although we played so much that like all of us became really, really fucking good at combat. Because I'm a big guy, and I was a bigger guy then. And I remember I would fight against people half my age and whoop their ass, and people would not believe it. And I would I loved it. Logan loved it because he would bet people all the time. And Lucy would be like, "I bet you he wins," and they'd be like,
No,
"Who's
he's
this fat
huge.
bastard?"
Oh yeah,
Right,
this
and
is
I
when
would-
Chris was double the size he is now, or some shit. He lost a
I would-
person.
And I would just light them up. They'd be like, "How the fuck did this fat guy just do that? Holy shit!" And I block all their shit. I'm like, boom, 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 and they'd be like, "What the fuck?" So it was
Mhm.
hilarious.
Well-
That's what happens when you fucking bring up the rear guard all the time because you can't run. You either become good or you die.
Well, now here's a question. How would you try? What is a good carryover from the Nero experiences to tabletop gaming? What are some
Definitely,
lessons and shit you got out of it? I mean,
definitely the role playing because in Nero you're on the entire weekend and people don't like when you break character.
mm,
So when I've gotten so used to, and also the good thing though is that you have a very, when we were at the table, what you said is what your character did.
yeah. Well, that's been a rule in my game for a long time. Gets rid of a lot of stupid shit like chop his head off. Roll, motherfucker.
Yeah,
No, I didn't mean to. Roll or miss, and he thinks it's an attack anyway, and shit goes downhill from very quickly.
like Logan's not nearly as he's not strict like that anymore, but
I'm still fairly strict.
it does happen now and then. But it's not like it used to just be like awful. But that got us like Nero. You want to be in character the entire time because you want that, you want to be immersed in it. So that helps at when we were playing at the table, it definitely carried over. And it definitely, I think, helped everybody role play at the table too,
Yeah.
instead of because like when you play like D&D, like even when you're role playing, you're just rolling and chopping, and there's like a little bit of story, but I've not really seen a lot when I played D&D. But with this, there is like what you say and what you do and the way you act can like have a big influence on what's happening in the campaign. Where in D&D, it's like, no, well, this is your mod. And
Speaking of that, I was looking through old Dungeon magazine because I like to read the adventures and then any good ideas I get, or it could send me off an entire different tangent or something like that, and then I'll write up shit. But I noticed that, like in the old dungeon magazines, it's less prevalent, but in the newer ones, it's pretty much like set up to this is your combat area, and we've included grid maps for you to fight on because that's what D&D is all about. And I'm like, nobody cares.
It's even worse because I believe in 5.0. I might be wrong because I only very know a little bit. A lot of the spells are like hit them and then they like hit them with the spell and they like go back 2 hexes. And if you do that with like another like with a warrior who can attack, if someone enters the hex in front of them, you get a bonus attack. I'm like, so it's become a retarded strategy game, even more so than it was in the past.
I understand. Well, the issue is that D&D came from such it came from wargaming roots, and because of that, it hasn't really completely left them because the people who get into it, painting minis, coming up with scenery to have the minis populate and wander around, and even now they're making a new, and it looks very cool. Don't get me wrong, where it's like a 3D board and it's almost like you're looking top down at a map and you can move it and all that. And I get that, but it's I've never had anybody say, you remember that combat 15 years ago where I got the extra attack because he moved into my hex? No, that never. It's always plot shit. It's not even about cool items. I've noticed. I mean, sometimes there's really cool items and people like their items, but it's about like the plots and what you did and who you talked to and all that kind of stuff. That in the people that I've been with and the people I've known, because I've played with a lot of motherfuckers over the years, hundreds of people, and it's always the characters or the interplay of the characters in the game and all that stuff that people talk about after a decade or more has gone by, as opposed to I found a way to get an extra +3 all the time and the GM didn't know what was right. There may be those kind of people out there, but they're playing a very different game than we are.
Definitely.
No, you're right,
And I'm not saying that it's not correct to have fun like that, but it's not the way I want to have fun.
to me, it's not a role-playing game at that point. You're wargaming, which is fine because I've actually had fun. We went to a couple cons where like I remember being with Ralph and Jeff, and we did like some Civil War game the entire time. We were just like into it.
Yeah.
And I remember I sat there for 5 hours to get my troops to where we were going to be, and then get decimated right as soon as I got there. But I had fun because we were all hanging out and talking too. But I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Freddie, what have you noticed in the combat difference between my game and like D&D games and stuff that you play, as far as combat goes?
Well, there's the obvious, it's quicker. That's the obvious thing. But otherwise,
It's a
well,
lot
it's
fucking
obviously
quicker.
theater of the imagination.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no maps or anything. Just keep track of your shit in your head. If you don't, it sucks for you. The GM will fuck you if you don't do that. Also, yeah, it's simpler for good and bad reasons. I mean, sometimes D&D lets you paradoxically do more shit while at the same time not letting you do as much, if that makes sense. Like in D&D, if there's a rule for a thing you're trying to do, some DMs will just say, no, can't do it. Like if you want to shoot someone in the eye to blind them, there's no rule for that, so I can't do it. You shoot them in the head to do damage, that's it. But in this campaign, if I wanted to punch a dude in the head, that'll be like a cold shot
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
something. Like Logan will come up with something,
Well,
and I'll do it.
yeah. I like being able to. Oh, by the way, keep track if there's any questions for us and stuff, Freddie.
Yeah, no, there's nothing.
Nobody
Okay.
cares. Okay, fine. Well, we didn't announce it, so I'm getting to hang out and talk with friends and stuff, which is cool.
Well, Yana came on for a sec, said hi, and then left.
Right, and you didn't mention it. You're a horrible person.
She didn't say anything.
Yes, but she's supporting us in a very spiritual way.
I said hello in the comments.
But I don't know. I think I would like to make combat more graphic. Instead of just I stab him for 3 or whatever. I'd like,
Well, if you do that, it will take longer.
Well, no, but I mean, I'd rather just use a few adjectives. You can see his
yeah.
blood trickle out of him as you sever, off. But you don't instead of like you kill him. Hey, yeah, it looks like his arm came off. He's laying on the ground screaming. His blood sprays out, covering you. You laugh manically or whatever.
Yeah.
Or maniacally. Yes, either way.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm
But
just
yeah,
a
no,
couple
the main
well-chosen
difference is-
adjectives.
Yeah, the main difference is just the speed and the cards. Honestly, the cards make a huge difference. There's no cards in D&D, and the cards can make just tilt the tide of battle one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've been in situations with Chris and Matt where our cards either us or won us the game or the fight basically. And D&D doesn't have that.
Yeah. I think the cards were one of my better things that I got the idea from an old Torg game, because the Torg game itself, it was okay, but it was like once you got wounded, you're at a negative. Once you got heavily wounded, you are fucked. You're laying there, blood coming out of your mouth, trying to claw your way over so you can feebly swing at somebody. And if you're critically wounded, you're pretty much just laying there in a pile of goo. And if you can move anywhere, that's great. And while it's very realistic, it's not a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, and then when we got so powerful because that was the first Amber campaign. Is I think we were playing Torg still.
Was it?
I remember, yeah, because I remember Ralph and me, we were talking, and it got to the point where it was just more cost effective to save up our pause, because with pause, you actually buy up your skills.
Right.
So, like, at 3 ads, you're like a novice, 6 ads, you do that for a living. 9 ads is like you're a master. So when we were playing, like, and then if you had a dex, like say it was a dex-based skill,
Oh, yeah,
so
right.
then your dex would give you a bonus on top of it.
And it was
Is that
more.
where this campaign comes from? Or is that where the dex bonuses and everything come from in this campaign?
Hold on, I'll be right back. Calling nature.
Alright. Alright.
So, well, one of the things is it got to the point where instead of buying up our skills, we're like, all right, so we're gonna go from like a 15 to a 16. It's gonna cost 17 pods to go up to a 16. So we're like,
Yeah.
my dex is like 3 times, like, so if I have like a 10 dex and I go, it's like 3 times the amount. So then it would be a 33 to go up to 11. But all of my dex-based skills go up by 1 at that point. Oh, so we would just start. We started just buying up our stats.
Okay. So is that how? Oh, okay. No, I see what you're saying.
So like it was just, it got to the point where like, oh well, why would we ever bother buying
Yeah,
up
with
just skills?
Yeah.
Like sure, it's a little bit more expensive, but then all of them get bumped. So if you have like, so if you're, so like you're in combat, so that's like your sword, like your unhand, your, you know, all of the ones, like all of our combat skills now, it's like giving them all plus 10%, basically.
Oh wow.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn. Yeah. No, I see why Logan didn't like that.
Yeah,
Just
which is
too much
why I
stuff
was really happy that we don't use that system anymore. It's a little on the silly side.
Burr?
Yeah, no, but the cards though are great. I love the cards. I
Oh yeah, the
like
cards are awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. It's
that
just something. Yeah.
that deck has been in development for years, and they used
I
to
still don't like the Nada cards, but that's just a new thing.
the witch cards.
The Nada cards, the cards that don't do anything. Why are they there?
Ah,
The deck's already massive. You don't need them.
no, they're actually a holdover. That's one of the things that, like the Dreamlands cards and stuff. It's just
Yeah.
one of the things. Like the more cards that get added to it, because the deck never shrinks; it only grows.
Eh.
So, but that
Uh,
I may eventually put in another rags to riches type thing, where if you collect up 3 Nada cards in that card, then you get, uh, to get a refill or something like that. But we've come
sorry,
up,
one second. Cool.
huh?
Just phone call. One sec.
Oh, Chris, I came up with another card idea. You remember the Peasant Disguise Kit card? Chris?
Yes.
On the same lines, where the peasant disguise is now where for a scene you can be dressed as an old timey peasant.
Oh yeah, I'll do that. Yeah.
I'm gonna get the same kind of card, but called Disney Princess.
Oh jeez.
Why?
Because it actually came up today where it would have been really good because I was trying to convince Yana to sing "Let It Go," but she wouldn't.
Yeah, one time it'll be really good. Every other time, why?
I could see Lumpsy playing that. He's the kind of person who not only would dress as a Disney princess, but has dressed as a Disney princess.
But why would you add that and not just another instant disguise?
Oh, because everybody needs to have a Disney princess in their life. Not all the cards should be useful. Many of them are whimsical. Chris is distracted. He is not putting out anymore. Put out, Chris. Yeah, you're my little entertainment center.
Oh,
He needs a good
Calm
shaking.
down.
Yana still here. The fact that she's not writing doesn't mean she doesn't exist or does it.
Ask her if she wants to be a Disney princess.
Yeah,
Let
let
it
you
go.
ask him.
I
Let
just
it
didn't.
go.
Exactly. uh, what's the favorite scene? Your favorite scene that Freddy has been in? I'm coming to you next on Doc Fulton, but Freddy, what's your favorite scene Freddy's been in? Or should I go to him first while you ponder? I think he's either frozen up or in deep thought.
I'm thinking. I'm not sure.
Nobody likes themselves. I understand.
Well, my favorite scene with Doc would probably be the one where the two of us when oh, hold on, spoilers. Shit, when did that happen? It was season 4.
We've just started broadcasting season 4, I think. I'm not sure.
Shit,
Just put it in vague
I
terms.
can't. We defeated a thing together that we probably shouldn't have been able to.
Oh, the big fucking thing that Doc was beating on?
The Shagas?
Spoilers? Okay, cool, thanks. Yes, that. Don't worry, no one watches these, it's fine.
Well, yeah, nobody cares right now. One of my favorites was when I think Doc released the bear from the book on you, and so you were fighting that, and he was fighting something else. I was like, this is teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. How about you, Chris? What's your favorite scene that's had Doc in it? Or a very good scene? You might have trouble choosing a favorite. I do not know.
I know one of my favorite scenes was definitely when I finally figured out everything that was going on at the Shadow Academy and released the guy that was imprisoned.
Oh, the thrice bound man
yeah.
guy?
Yeah, well, just because everybody had so much of an issue with it,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was just like, oh yeah, I went and did that by myself the other day, and everyone's like, fuck you, Chris.
Oh yeah. That's one of the things I like is that if somebody wants to do something, I mean, if it's like I want to go kill this powerful creature, then the players have to get clever and have the right skills to do it. Like I'm gonna go to a zone where I can buy bombs and shit, and then come back and blow him up because I have demolitions. But if you don't have that or know where to buy bombs or whatever, and you're sitting there with a sharpened stick or something, it's not gonna go well for you.
Very true.
Oh, that reminded me
Hmm?
of the mod. That reminded me of the mod we did. Didn't know which mod.
I know which mod. Dude, do you know how many mods
you
you've been
said-
on?
The mod. The mod of last season that we kind of all went crazy over, that I did maybe 3 times.
I don't really think you're going to be spoiling much for people if you kind of keep it a little bit vague.
The Goo, Glitter, and Guts.
Oh, that one. That was
But the one with Chris. That one was.
the Sleestack sex party thing. You remember
Yeah.
that one, Chris?
Oh, is that when we went to the other side? Like we had
Yes.
the cars
Yes.
that went to the.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, the way you dealt with that was something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Chris saying, "Fuck you, fuck this mod, fuck this guy, fuck all these other people, fuck it, I'm gonna fucking do this shit, fuck you," and he just, yeah. But
I
that
mean,
that
sometimes
does,
people see a lot of death.
yeah. But the Sleestack sex party, it's amazing how much weird shit, just like over the top, like it. I'm sure that there are some GMs, like sometimes they say some weird, like I was reading on one of the boards that I'm a member of, and guys like, yeah, we did something really weird. Our GM let us because we really hated this one tax collector guy, and the GM let us take all our cut fingernails and cut toenails, and we sprinkled them in his bed. And I'm like, he let you do this? That's nice. This is weird and interesting for you. God damn. I'm pretty sure one of my characters would have shoved a horse dildo up his ass. You know what I mean? And said, I'm a proctologist. Yeah, and I'd be correct. I think that's been Freddy's best magic item is that fucking anal refresher. That
Oh my
is
god.
for those listening. There's two different kinds of damage in the campaign. There's real damage where you're cut and you've got internal injuries, stuff like that, and then there's stun damage where you're just kind of beat up, bruised up, and all that. And what the anal refresher does is you insert it into the rectum, push a button, and it removes all the stun damage instantly. It's a really good item. And unfortunately, Freddy's character, who is also named Freddy, likes it a lot. And it's like his tag item. And then, he's had to use it on other PCs who were unconscious and unable to object because he needed to wake them.
That's so fucked up.
I'm trying to remember. Was it Vince that you did it to? And you're like,
Yeah, it was
I
Vince.
don't want to do
Yeah.
this. And because in real life, Vince is like 15 years old, and you're talking about taking down his character's pants. He's like, the fuck? And then it's like, okay, and all your stun's healed. And he's like, thank you. And,
I mean, it was either that or he dies. What do you want me
Right,
to do?
right. And as a disclaimer, I believe his dad was also playing in that same session going, because,
No, he wasn't.
no? Oh.
Was just, no, we feel that.
Yeah, Ralph
No,
knew
I
what he was
remember
getting
that.
his kid into. Ralph's been gaming with me for a couple of decades, so, he knows that there's something very, very wrong with this campaign. He's like, I think I need to get my kids involved. And I was like, yeah, that's great.
Uh,
But, which is funny because in YouTube stuff, because they got hit for problems for Chris, get off the phone, talk to us. No,
that's a multi-pass.
he keeps hitting like eggplant emoji and peach emoji,
Mhm.
and because he really likes his fruits and vegetables and shit. So,
And then get lost again.
but I lost track of what I was gonna say. What do you got, Chris?
I'm talking to Ralph.
Tell him to get onto this.
So Ralph wants to know why you have so much ass play and dildos in your game.
I don't know. Is he listening to this? Ralph,
Yes.
get onto this if you can, or tell Chris that you can't. But yeah, I'll send you the thing. I don't know why there's so much that it's just one of those weird things.
It's just one of those weird things.
I can't think of any more logical explanation. I really can't. Let me send Ralph a.
Oh, Ralph's working.
Oh,
Well, tell him there's no dildos and ass play for him then. I can tell he's working hard if he's talking to you. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really think there's that much, but you just open the crack with just one dildo that's magic, and then suddenly, next thing you know, everything's sliding through the crack.
I mean, there isn't that much, but it's memorable, so it looks like there's much,
Uh-huh. Well, like the
And
hmm?
and it's an insanity of mine, so
Right.
It
Right.
will come up when I'm around.
Yeah. Yeah. Be sure to hit that at least once in adventure because I don't remember from the
Yeah,
last couple adventures that you play.
yeah, I need to do that a bit more. Don't you worry.
Okay. Well, you can
It
make
will
up
come
for it,
up.
I'm sure. Um, but no, I still think it's really funny when the PCs were at a hotel room just flipping through channels and they found like the Slee Stack porn channel and they're like, let us observe this for a while. Logan, tell us what's going on. I'm like, all right. Fortunately, I had something ready.
Or you
Fucking
can
good.
have the insanity as well. Be like, fucking Al's character Muldoon's with his fucking when I made the zombie.
Oh
And
my God, tell that story. This is the most fucked up thing from the old days. It was horrible.
so
The
like I had a
crown.
crown that you could put onto a zombie's head and it would obey your commands. So we had this guy named Muldoon, and Muldoon became like one of his things was he became a pervert, like a huge pervert, and he was into he was a necrophiliac. So I was like, oh, zombie, oh, okay. He's like, oh well, I know what I can do for you, and I was playing the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
So I installed a motor I hooked it up to the veins inside of this zombie woman, so that way he could, and then I filled it with lube, so that she's always lubed up for him. And I would turn it on, and I remember I put the crown on the zombie's head, and I said, "Rape him all night long for his transgressions," and it did, and it satisfied his insanity too, because he loved it and hated it all at the same time.
It's like a soap dispensing
Well,
internal pump that goes do 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 do. Fucking horrible. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I could, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It, I think that some people who are used to a different kind of more heroic gaming would definitely die inside in a campaign like this. It's like, oh, what about saving the princess? She has herpes. What? Or Logan's classic retelling of the Sleeping Beauty thing, although it wasn't nearly as grim as the Grim Fairy Tales version, where the prince didn't wake her up but he did get her impregnated, and then she had twins or something like that. Just all kind of weird shit happened in the old days, apparently. Because if you see a sleeping dame in the forest, apparently back then not saying no is consent or something. I don't know how that worked. It was a different and worse time, I guess. So
I see.
yeah, yeah. No, some of the versions of the Grimm fairy tales are pretty fucked up. So I don't know. There's certain lines that I don't cross in the campaign, like sexual violence against women, because too many women have undergone that shit in real life. So sexual violence against men, less men have done it. I'm on safer ground. So Chris is completely
I
distracted.
gotta go. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Don't worry.
All this dildo talk has got him hot, so he's off. He'll be back. It just takes him a few minutes. Just got to work that butt plug in deep, and he's good. So anyway, what else is going on that you're liking and disliking in the game world?
Well, I wanted to briefly touch upon. I already spoke to Ralph about this on Messenger because I was giving him a bit of feedback about the game he ran the other day because my brain was still on full download after the session, so I didn't have everything with me. But afterwards, I thought about it, and basically one of the things that I really liked a lot was the change of pace from your campaign to his. Yours is very chaotic and very quick. Things happen very quickly. Things change always. It's just constant movement everywhere. And if you're not on top of it, you're gonna miss something important.
Even if you are on top of
Or
it, shit's
exactly.
still happening.
But
NPCs are
in
doing things too.
exactly. But in Ralph's campaign, there was still quite a bit going on, but it was a little bit slower. Like you could take your time and absorb everything, and not worry about change and everything happening at once. So that was just a nice change of pace that I like, and gave me more of a chance to get to grips with what's going on. And the other thing that I really liked was that, and this, you can't really do anything about this. I like the fact that we were all in the same boat, so to speak.
How do you
New
mean?
World, never
Oh,
been here before.
yeah, yeah.
First experience. So there's none of this. I've been in this zone 200 times. This doesn't interest me. And there's a new guy who's like, "Ooh, what's that?" kind of thing.
hmm
So
Well,
that was a nice
that will eventually happen in Ralph's game because, like, if
Oh yeah.
Ralph has people signing up, because I'd love to get Doc Fulton in that just to have him barrel around with his fucking putter and shit. I, yeah. Once Lumpsy
Well,
meets
if
him,
you
he'll get him
had,
a golf set or something, to keep him busy. One of those putt things that you can do while you're taking a shit or whatever. Because people have to fucking work on their golf swing while they're squeezing one out,
I mean, if you're sitting there anyway.
right? Or you
yeah,
just get a big
that's true.
stand-up toilet and work on the full thing and just drop loads on the
I'm a doctor. I'll fucking catheter my shit and then, whatever.
Oh,
I don't think that's how it works. Okay.
dude, I still remember when we used to play EverQuest. I wanted a catheter so fucking bad.
Oh my god.
We were so
I
hopelessly
mean, you have
addicted.
violence in the planets, but they're not. It's just violence.
Oh, it was just no. We didn't even think that way. It's like must stay at the computer for 36 hours straight because camping some fucking rare spawn. They'll give me a minor bonus item.
That
Yeah,
was crazy.
yeah, oh yeah. But I don't know. I think let's see. Which part of the campaign are you struggling the most with right now, Chris?
I think it's just because I'm not around as much, so I don't know all the little ins and outs that's going on. So it makes it frustrating when I don't know the big picture. Because
Oh,
I care about the big picture, and
Yeah.
usually the people when I'm playing, it's the little things, and I get that. So I mean, since I'm not around enough, I'm not going to go ahead and try to derail to something else entirely. Maybe a
Well,
little bit, but not
if
huge.
if the internet gods deem it so, I'll be here tomorrow.
Okay.
You have the lead for tomorrow. Yeah, I'm
well,
following you basically. I even mentioned it to Logan.
my plan is I'm going to start you guys off on a mod, but it's short, really short,
Oh, okay.
and after that you can decide whatever to do. So you've got even with Pete and Yana and John, I think it was like less than an hour.
Oh wow, that's a short mod.
Super short mod. Yeah. So
Okay.
that gives you that way because I figure it's the last thing I'm running for a month, and so I wanted to give people plenty of time if they wanted to go around and do different things and stuff. Um, I I think that one of the things that I liked was like Pete went to some places today with Yana and John, and he got some answers, which he's been wanting for a big thing, and then a lot more questions. It's like and I think there was more questions than answers, and that's one of the things that I like about having built up this much mythology within the campaign is that it's always a feeling of digging deeper as opposed to we pretty much got everything Logan's doing here. I hated that kind of shit.
And just touching on what we spoke about earlier briefly, about the advantage, the pros and cons of having a consistent group and a rotating cast.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's good to have new people with new perspectives and new, ideas and things to do. But on the other hand, it can get confusing sometimes because there's always people changing and information doesn't pass very easily.
Oh, ask
That's for
Chris
the
how.
players.
Ask,
I know you love it, but for us, the players, it's like,
ask Chris about Nero events, how that shit would go there.
I need a minute, and then you can ask away. And
God damn it. God damn it. Okay. I think I think he's doing some work bullshit right now. Words, eggplant emoji, sweat emoji, horse emoji, because there's some weird shit going. But
I'll be right back.
okay. God damn it.
Don't worry.
Hold on, I've got two people here. See if this works. Wow, that's totally. Why is that? Oh, twofer? No, still
what are you
totally.
doing?
I'm trying to arrange it for two people.
Yeah, just change the scene.
I did, but when I go to two people scene, it looks like that, which is really tiny.
All right, hold on. Yes, yeah, no, apparently it was very short. Oh, wow, what the?
Well, let me do that, and then I can try it. No, that's
Nope.
Let me try Alt.
No, hold on,
I got it. Aha. Look at Logan go. Technical skills and shit. It's not great, but it's better than it was.
yeah. That's how it should have been.
Yes, I don't know why it was just we're suddenly reduced to a thin sliver. I should have just asked him to turn off his camera instead so he could leave it as a placeholder.
Weird.
Hmm.
Anyway, it looks fine now.
Hmm. But no, you were saying.
No, that was it really. It was just the in a consistent group, everyone knows the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
assuming they pay. Obviously. But in this group, you only know what you play in and what other people tell you when you're not there. And sometimes that's really, really difficult to get good information.
That's true. The problem I had with the consistent group, because I did that obviously a lot more than I did the style we have now, because the tech didn't exist, and I've been playing since the 70s.
Yeah.
The problem with the one group is couplefold. First off, if you're playing in a static place, then you've only got the people around who can logically get to your house, or you can go to their house or whatever. But you draw from a very small player base, and usually because I've lived more different places than I can actually remember when I was living back in the U.S. I moved a lot. Finding good players who were not already in as many games as they wanted to get into, rough, very, very rough. And so you got left either with the players that, like, sometimes you'd find good players, sometimes you'd find players that other games didn't want, or people who are just new to gaming or whatever. So, and then on top of that, their problem is that you would only have certain amounts of people that would show up. And sometimes it'd be nobody. And sometimes it would be everybody. And sometimes it'd be 3 or 4 people. The Swamp House was a very weird, rare thing that happened where
Yeah.
we had a good turnout consistently for like a year. But the Swamp House thing only lasted for, actually, it wasn't even a year. I think it was like a really long summer or
Oh,
something
wow.
like that. So yeah, there's a lot of famous shit. Well, for us it was famous that happened in a fairly condensed amount of time.
Oh.
But most of the games I found that are live people that go on for like 10 years or whatever, they're generally like a once a month thing that lasts for a couple hours and it seems to be as much of an excuse to get together with old friends
Yeah,
for
yeah.
a couple hours as gaming. Whereas I'm sure you've noticed that like the time when I get together to chat with people is stuff like now. During gaming time, there's less than 2 or 3 minutes of chatting, and we're into the gaming, and the
Yeah.
gaming goes for 5 hours, and then everybody is tired after that and fucks off. If they want to talk, they do it on their own time, not during
Oh, yeah,
that
no,
time.
I like that because that we're all here for one thing, to play a game.
Yeah.
You know, we can talk in our own time, but
So that's my problem with like the live groups is that a large proportion of time or a large number of times there would end up being no game because bigger better deal. Oh, I might get late if I go to this club. I'm gonna go with my girlfriend. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna do laundry. I do laundry. I have to sit here and monitor the fucking laundry, and it's like it got real old real quick. After a decade or two of that, you're like, fuck that. And then if you've got a game over the internet, then you suddenly got a large pool of people to pull from. And in my case, it's weird because a lot of the people are like, I gamed with that motherfucker a long time back. I want to game with him some more, and they keep popping up out of the woodwork. And sometimes like Robert, he was one of the guys who was gaming before you were. He got a different job. He had to drop out. He was a good gamer. Everybody liked him. He liked gaming. New job has to drop because his hours are all fucked up and stuff. Plus, I think he got a girlfriend, got married, something like that. I don't know. I didn't pry into it. He had to drop. He's gone. He GM'd once fairly recently ago because he wanted to get his toe
yeah.
wet again. But so we don't see him a lot now. But in the future, he might come back. But so you got a large audience or a large amount of people that want to game with you, but you can't game with 7 people on the internet and do any more than you. It's only good for like combat simulators where everybody gets
yeah.
30 seconds or whatever to move their piece and shit. So
Yeah.
that's why you run into the what I think of as the big hopper where you've got 15 people and they're feeding in 3 at a time and my schedule's kind of random. But I mean, people can try to sign up. Like I've been encouraging some of the people. It's like make your own little group. You and your group. Everybody make sure GM
Yeah.
so you can get the advanced thing and then sign up in your group. And they're not doing it. So that tells me that the want of gaming with other people in order to either catch up on news or hang out with different people or whatever seems to be stronger than we want a group. Because, well,
Yeah.
seriously, think about it. If, like, for example, if Joe and Terry and Alice, just to make up 3 people, wanted their own group and they all were doing advanced sign up and they're like all playing together and stuff, they would get their own mods and stuff. Their shit would still affect them from the rest of the campaign, but they would
Yeah.
always know what's going on. And then if they went off and they're like, oh, we're going to go over to this place here that's in the zone, but it's away from where the PCs normally are, and we're going to do our own things, they pretty much have their own campaign going
Pretty
that
much.
they'd be GMing. But they don't. They don't. So
Yeah,
that
I
tells me
know.
that despite people bitching about, we're in a fucking washing machine. Logan throws in a brick and closes the door and starts it and runs away going, go! And then the bad things happen to the washing machine. Despite that, it seems to be what people are really after. They like that better than,
Yeah.
sign up with their own group and just go.
Oh, I have an idea.
Okay?
Hold on, I have my KOSI friend is a D&D player.
Who is
You
your
might
friend?
you don't know him. He's
Okay.
in the other room right now. But you
Is he
may want
hiding
to
in
ask.
your room or?
No, it's in the other room. You might want to ask him some questions, as he's been playing D&D for a long time and he's only played. Well, not only.
I'm not sure what I'd have to ask him.
I mean, just from a different perspective, as
Yeah, but we have no common ground, and I know what D&D is
he's
like.
a gamer.
Yeah,
Sure.
gamer, good. Oh wait, you're saying when you say other room, is he at your house?
Yes.
You have people
Literally,
lurking. Wait, you're ignoring your house guest in order to talk to me?
He's not.
I am totally not understanding you.
Well, he looks after me at night.
Oh, I see. I see.
Yeah.
He's one of your miscellaneous caregivers. Your
Yeah.
Pepples, and he's a
Yeah.
D&D player.
Yeah.
Handy.
I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, no, I've been trying to get him to play, but his schedule doesn't allow. So,
That's rough.
yeah, as well.
Yeah. So people, I don't know. It's if somebody's schedule isn't allowing them to play in a game with a schedule like this, which I think compared to other games and stuff, I call this a fairly generous schedule.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. Yeah.
I think it's because the desire isn't there. If he had played once and was like, I'm fucking in, then he would rearrange shit. So,
Yeah. That's fair.
well,
That's all I have. Yeah.
I was gonna say that's why I always say that if I can get somebody for about 3 or 4 sessions, then they then they're going to be a player for possibly years, unless something happens to them. Like, I got a different job or whatever. Or my wife made me move to a country without internet or something. Because the first session, you're pretty much confused. Second session, the confusion is less, and you're like, okay, yeah, I remember how to
No.
operate this.
Confusion's more and more and more. It just increases always.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you know something else I really like about the cards?
Hmm.
In games like D&D or whatever, if you're kicking ass and doing a great job role playing, and the GM is just plumb pleased with you, and you go, you get 100 extra XP. It doesn't mean anything. It's like, yay. I mean, it's not a tangible award as opposed to
Yeah.
here's cards. Cards are going in your hand, and then like if the players are just talking to each other and they're like blah blah blah, and they're coming up with all this brilliant shit, and they look down, they got like 8 cards in their hand. It's like, I must have said something smart. Fuck, what did I say? Somebody tell me what I said. Was it smart? I said something. Or he's fucking with it. He could be fucking with us too. Either way, it creates all kinds of other stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
No, I got you.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I just love the cards, honestly. They're like one of my favorite things about this system as a whole. Not the campaign, but the system.
Right.
Differentiate the two.
Well,
Yeah.
the one of the things I like about the system, aside from the cards, because the cards are groovy, and I'm kind of surprised more games don't use them. Although for a lot of GMs, it's hard to remember to hand out cards a lot.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, in a good session where the players are doing good things, kicking ass and stuff, everybody gets around 40 to 50 cards per.
Yeah.
That's a lot for the new GMs to try to remember to hand out and stuff.
It wasn't that difficult.
Well, I mean, you've gotten used to it, but I've seen GMs that's like they seem to forget about the cards, or they tell me to hand out cards. It's like, Logan, you just got. And if I'm like, that's funny, here's cards. But I also like there. In one of the advertisements I put out, it was like a couple, and they're looking for a game. And the guy's like, no levels in this, or no classes. I don't want a game with no classes. And I put up the Simpsons thing where it overran and the ants out. Freedom, horrible freedom. Because I'm thinking, freedom from classes is awesome. Nobody did.
I'm not a fan of classes either.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
Yeah, I mean,
Let me make my character the way I want to make it.
hmm
Don't tell me this is what I do. I want to decide what I do. You know? Yeah.
well, how is your character different than what you'd originally envisioned? As far as your character is played enough where it's developed and it's taken on a life of its own.
Not
What?
awfully different.
Not
I would
awfully,
say
but
more scared than I envisioned him to be.
as far as skills go, I mean,
Oh,
what are
skills.
some skills that you've developed that you didn't think about or you didn't have any plans about?
Honestly, the weirdest skill I developed, which I thought I would never use. Why would I? No one will ever have this. Is taste, smell taste.
Yeah.
I have that at a living. How? I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
yeah,
Yeah. Well,
yeah. I was huh?
and I'm not even sure how long this campaign's been going for. I could probably find out, but I'm not sure what it started. Do you remember when you started in the campaign? Approximately.
um 2007, end of 2017, October 2017.
Has it been that long? Really? So that's
And
like
hold
two
on,
years you've been in this campaign,
was it 2017?
or was it 2018?
2018.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2018. Yeah,
Okay. I was gonna
last year
say.
October. Yeah,
Okay. So about a year. Yeah.
yeah.
Imagine if this fucker's going for like 5 years or some shit. He just twitches. Man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like Matt's been playing what from day one. Oh, something.
And
Yeah, I'm
Yana,
looking at.
him and Yana, day one. They were the
Yeah,
first
but
people.
Liana for some reason.
I don't know why her skills don't go up. I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't know if she checks them or whatever. I got no idea. Maybe her dice are always hating on her.
Liana, if you're listening, tell us why your skills don't go up, please.
I don't know if she knows either, but I think it's weird. It's just
Yeah,
strange. It's like, what the fuck?
I mean
But
she plays quite a bit as well. So
yeah, yeah, she
I
does.
mean,
She plays a good deal, and it's confusing to Logan.
well, I don't even know if she has anything over 100. Probably does, but
I don't know. I know she's gotten good at like psychology, psychoanalysis, and I'm like, you're the most
yeah.
crazy, out of control individual here, and she is Harley Quinn pretty much. I think.
So Liana does check them. She doesn't know she's cursed,
Hmm.
and she doesn't have anything over 100.
Damn.
And I've been playing for a year. I have 3 things over 100.
Yeah. Well, you also get very lucky in the cards.
Yeah, but
I
they don't
mean,
really help with skill ups. So,
no, but I was thinking stats.
true that, yeah.
Are all your stats at 20 now?
All but Essen,
What's your essence at?
14.
14?
Yeah.
That is a fucking underdeveloped stat there.
Oh, I started at 10, so,
Hmm.
yeah. But yeah, yeah, for some people it just seems stats go up, skills go up. Others not so much. I don't know why.
I,
Weird.
I don't know. No, I mean, it's it's like I think Yana's biggest strength is she's remarkably good at role play, and even if
Mm.
her combat skills are like does as a living or better, she's not a combatant usually. Although she was beating up some dude in a car today and just because she remembered we reminded her she had a strength bonus and she started clocking the shit out of somebody. I was like,
Yeah, but I mean, that's another plus and minus to the system. There's a lot of skills, and they're all fairly useful if you know how to use them. But on the other hand, no matter how much you use them in a session, how good you are, they'll only go up by so much. at the end of every session.
Still
Assuming
floating
you
on this fucking ice.
fail your roll, obviously.
Right.
Which is basically saying the more you play, the more your skills go up.
Well, can you imagine if it didn't work like that?
No.
I mean,
I'm just saying sometimes it's like, why are my skills not going up?
yeah.
But I think it
Goddamn
works
torches and
fine
get
the
them
way
lit.
it is. Otherwise, people would be at
Champagne.
like 200 or something by now.
Sorry, could you say that again?
I think it works fine the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, people would be at, 150, 200 by now. If
Right.
it worked differently.
Well, that's one of the reasons that the game system is made as it is. Because back in the day when I was trying to figure out how do I want to do this game system and all that stuff, I knew that no matter what I was doing as far as a system, it needed to be something that the players didn't advance so quickly that, like, after a relatively short amount of time, is either kill them or retire them or something like that.
Yeah.
So in this system, it's kind of self-correcting because trying to get a skill up that's like at 80%, that's 1 in 5 missions. You can, get it up unless you get lucky or something like that. And
Oh, we have a comment from Yana.
gone.
Part of it may be that I think more about what it's fun to do than what would be strategical to
Yes.
do to get a check on a skill.
Yes. I noticed I'm definitely a victim of the strategy, but I couple it with my shit luck, and that's why Limpsy's skills are not doing well. But I've only played him like once or twice. But yeah, now like I said, her deal is all role play.
So, speaking of Limpsy,
Yeah.
how do you envision Limpsy ever gaining access to higher magic? Amber and all that stuff.
That's an excellent question. Honestly, I don't really. I don't know if any of the other GMs want to fuck with that. Because I'm a ways off from even trying to walk the pattern and shit, but pretty much if GM, like if I was a guest GM and the other players were like, hey, we want to go over there, I'd be like, Logan, what are the 3 rolls? We're just gonna speed through this, and then they're gonna get you back into my sandbox or whatever, and that way you'll have the thing. That's easy.
Yeah, if someone's like offered to take Lumpsy to walk the pattern.
Right now, I would die.
Not right now. I mean, would Logan be
I don't
allow
care.
that to happen?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't. Right now, I don't know if I play often enough to get anywhere with it, and plus, the guest GMs have all been very generous because they knew that part of what I wanted to do is test out the magic system.
Yeah.
And I'd like to test out the shadow walking system and all that. But for the thing is with like being able to move through different dimensions and all that kind of stuff, the game world has to be a lot bigger. Or you have to be good at going off the cuff. And for somebody, if they're like GMing their once every 3 months thing or once every 2 months thing, I'm not really expecting that out of them. If they have a good tight adventure that goes on in a relatively small place, like Ralph Sling, for example, I thought at first it's Escape from the Hotel Time. That was what my initial thinking was. It's like, okay, we have to get away from the hotel. That's like, no, the whole thing's going on in the hotel. Oh, fine. I need a bigger room then, so I can sit around with the RPCs and talk about shit and play my harpsichord really, really badly, and stuff like that. And I'm good with staying in the hotel until, we've plumbed its depths and all that. That's why I wanted to get like the map of the hotel and a measuring thing, because I know Ralph's already figured out why I want the measuring tape. It's like, we're gonna go
Yeah.
first explore all the hotel, and then we're gonna measure the entire fucking hotel and figure out where the spare stuff is, and I'll be like, hey, Freddie, you're really strong. Rip this fucking wall down, would you? Yeah. I'll heal you if you hurt yourself, because that's what I do.
Yeah. But yeah, no, yeah, hopefully Lumsey will see more action. I'm curious to see what you do with him.
Well, yeah, I think it's,
It's also nice playing with you rather than having you as a GM. It's different.
very
experience.
different, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, one of the reasons I wanted to play Lumsey, well, there's a couple different reasons. First off, as you've already figured out, Lumsey's a clone. And there's literally hundreds of Lumseys. Because I figured, right, like the Necromancer one, he started, he was doing okay, but then shit kind of went downhill. So eventually, I want to get this guy necromancy skill built up and have the pet and all that, but I want to get his sandy way up first, because otherwise, starting as a necromancer, not really a good idea. It's like, oh, my skeleton pet's scaring me. Oh, I made a zombie, it's scaring me. Oh,
Why didn't you just put a bunch of points into your sanity category?
Because you
not
need
be run by it.
everything. There's no dump stats. You need everything in this game.
No, I mean like, oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I
Right.
could have had a 99 SAN and 10 in the rest of my stats. But then I
No,
wouldn't
that's
have
not what I mean. I mean,
Oh,
instead of 99 sand, can you put 20 points into, say, zombies and just never be bothered by that?
no.
No? Oh.
I could put 99 points in the Sandy, go down to 79, and it wouldn't bother me. Oh, look, my zombie. Yeah, I pet it on the head. Good zombie. So that's as close as you can get, but no, you can't just start with stuff maxed. But yeah, that version of them didn't do well, and so rather than rewrite the character or whatever, I was like, I'll just start another clone, fuck it. And I went with the nice guy one, who's pretty much a healer. He's unless he's frightened or feeling in a corner or something, he's pretty mellow. But it's like, there's an assassin in my room. I will hit him with the biggest fucking maul I can in the fucking head by ambush and kill his ass, because in real life that's what you do. You don't, I mean, okay, no, sorry, that's not that's
in real
what
life you run away.
yeah, I was gonna say non-victims will immediately try to end the threat. Victims will go, who are you? Get out of my room. Oh, you've got a knife now. Oh, I'm in doom. Yeah, but Lumsey is just like clobber. Fuck it. There's no talking. No, who are you? No, clobber. Dead. Now figure out body disposal. Easy shit.
Yeah. Well, I need to head off now.
I think
Where's Chris?
What?
Where's Chris?
I do not know. I think he had something else that came up that he had to take care of, and we are missing him already. But thanks for coming on. I will talk to you later, man.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be around tomorrow. So.
Rockin'.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Bye, people. Wait.